At 15, I stood on the sidewalk with a garbage bag full of clothes, watching my stepmother smile through the window while my father turned away. At 23, I stood in a lawyer's office learning that the woman who found me that night, who became the mother I never had left me $4 million. Funny how life works. The people who throw you away never expect you to land somewhere better. My name is Emma. I'm 23. I live in Portland, and I'm a certified public accountant. Well, technically, I just passed the CPA exam 3 months ago, but we'll get to that. Right now, I need to tell you about the day everything changed. Twice. Once when I was 15 and lost everything, and once last month when I gained something I never saw coming. I wasn't supposed to be a burden. That's what my stepmother, Victoria, told me the day she decided I needed to leave. Not in those exact words, of course. She was much more creative about it. Emma, we need to talk about your future. I was sitting at the kitchen table doing homework, Algebra 2. I remember because I was finally understanding quadratic equations, and I felt proud of myself for the first time in months. My dad was in the living room watching football. Victoria sat down across from me with this expression, like she was about to tell me something important, something that would benefit me. "You're 15 now," she said, almost an adult. "And I think it's time we discuss some changes around here." I looked up from my textbook. "What kind of changes?" "Well, your father and I have been talking, and we think it might be better for everyone if you went to live with your aunt in Sacramento for a while." I blinked. "Aunt Marie? I barely know her." "Exactly. It would be a great opportunity for you to build that relationship." I stared at her. My Aunt Marie was my mom's sister. My mom died when I was 8. Aunt Marie sent a card on my birthday sometimes. That was the extent of our relationship. "I don't want to live with Aunt Marie," I said carefully. "I want to stay here. This is my home." Victoria's smile tightened. "Emma, let's be realistic. This house is small. Tyler and Madison are getting older. They need their own space. I have my own room. They need to share your room. Tyler's almost 13, he can't keep sharing with his little sister." Tyler and Madison were Victoria's kids from her previous marriage. They'd moved in when she married my dad 3 years ago. Tyler got the guest room. Madison got half of my room. I got used to it. "So where would I sleep?" I asked, even though I already knew the answer was nowhere. Victoria leaned back in her chair. "Sweetie, I'm trying to help you understand. Your father and I love you, but we have to think about what's best for the whole family. Tyler's at a critical age. Madison needs stability, and you, well, you're practically grown. It's time for you to start becoming independent." Independent. At 15, I looked past her toward the living room where my dad was watching TV. He had to be hearing this. Our house wasn't that big. "Does Dad know you're telling me this?" I asked. "Of course. We discussed it thoroughly. Can I talk to him?" Something flickered in her eyes. "He's watching the game right now, honey. You know how he gets during the game." I stood up, walked into the living room. My dad was on the couch with a beer, eyes fixed on the screen. "Dad?" He didn't look at me. "Not now, Emma." "Dad, Victoria says I have to move out, to live with Aunt Marie." He took a sip of his beer. On the TV, someone scored. He cheered. Then he looked at me, not really at me, more like through me. "Victoria and I think it's for the best," he said. "For the best?" "I'm 15. You'll be fine. Your aunt will take care of you." "Have you even talked to Aunt Marie about this?" He looked back at the TV. "Victoria's handling it." I stood there for maybe 30 seconds, waiting for him to look at me again, to say he was kidding, to act like my father. He didn't. I went back to the kitchen. Victoria was still sitting there, looking pleased with herself. "So that's it," I said. "You just decided?" "We decided what's best for this family. I'm part of this family." "Emma." Her voice changed, harder now. "Let's not make this difficult. You have two choices. You can go to your aunt's house like a mature young woman, or you can make this ugly. And trust me, you don't want to make this ugly. I felt something cold spread through my chest. What does that mean? It means your father has full custody of you. It means if you fight this, we can make things very complicated. We can involve social services. We can make sure everyone knows what a difficult, ungrateful child you've been. Or you can pack your things, say goodbye gracefully, and we'll tell everyone you wanted a fresh start. I was 15. I didn't understand half of what she was threatening me with, but I understood enough. When? I asked. This weekend. 3 days. I went to my room, my half of a room, and closed the door. Madison was at a friend's house. I sat on my bed and tried to think. Tried to figure out what I'd done wrong. Tried to remember when my dad stopped looking at me like I was his daughter. It was after the wedding. Slowly at first. He started missing my school events. Started forgetting to ask about my day. Started saying, "Ask Victoria" whenever I needed something. And Victoria made sure I needed less and less. She'd tell my dad I was difficult, that I talked back, that I made Madison cry. None of it was true, but my dad believed her. Or maybe he just found it easier to believe her. I called Aunt Marie that night. She picked up on the 4th ring. "Hello? Aunt Marie? It's Emma." A pause. "Emma. Hi, sweetie. Is everything okay? Did Victoria call you?" Another pause. Longer this time. "Yes, she called yesterday." My stomach dropped. "What did she say?" "She said you wanted to come live with me for a while. That things were tense at home and you needed a change of scenery." "That's not what's happening." Silence. "Aunt Marie, she's kicking me out. Dad's going along with it. I don't have anywhere else to go." I heard her breathe, heard her hesitate, and I knew. "Emma, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm not in a position to take you in right now. I'm traveling for work constantly. I'm barely home. It wouldn't be fair to you." "So what am I supposed to do?" "Maybe if you just give it some time, maybe your dad will change his mind." "He won't." "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I really am. But I can't. I'm just not set up for this right now." She kept talking, but I stopped listening. Eventually, I said goodbye and hung up. I sat on my bed in the dark and tried not to cry. I'd already learned that crying in this house just gave Victoria ammunition. That weekend came fast. Victoria bought me a set of cheap luggage from Target. "For your new adventure," she said brightly, like she was sending me to summer camp. I packed everything I owned. It fit in 2 suitcases and a garbage bag. Clothes, books, the jewelry box my mom gave me before she died, photos, my laptop. Tyler and Madison watched from the hallway. Tyler looked uncomfortable. Madison looked curious. My dad was at work. He'd said goodbye that morning over breakfast. A quick, "Good luck, kiddo," without eye contact. Then he left. Victoria drove me to the bus station. "I'm giving you $500, she said in the car. "That's more than generous. Don't spend it all at once." She pulled up to the curb, popped the trunk. I got out, grabbed my bags. She rolled down the window. "This is for the best, Emma. One day you'll understand that." I looked at her, really looked at her. She wasn't pretty, she wasn't smart, but she was good at one thing, making people believe her version of reality. And my dad, for whatever reason, had decided her version was easier than the truth. "Goodbye, Victoria." She smiled. "Goodbye, sweetie. Stay in touch." She drove away. I stood on the sidewalk with my luggage and $500 and nowhere to go. The bus station was behind me. I could buy a ticket to Sacramento and show up at Aunt Marie's door, but I knew she'd just send me back. I could call social services, but Victoria had made it clear what that would look like. I'd end up in the system, bounced around foster homes, and somehow that seemed worse than figuring it out myself. I was thinking about all this when someone spoke behind me. "You look lost." I turned. There was a woman standing there, maybe 50, with kind eyes and gray hair pulled back in a ponytail. She was wearing scrubs. "I'm fine." I said automatically. She looked at my bags, at my face, at the way I was standing, like I was trying not to collapse. "You're not fine," she said gently. "Are you in trouble?" I don't know why I told her the truth. Maybe because she was a stranger. Maybe because she looked at me like I was a person worth looking at. "I don't have anywhere to go," I said. She studied me for a long moment. "What's your name?" "Emma." "I'm Carol. I'm a nurse at Providence. I just got off my shift." She paused. "How old are you, Emma?" 15. Something in her expression shifted. "Where are your parents?" "My mom's dead. My dad, he's not an option." She looked at my bags again, then back at me. "Do you have money?" $500. "That won't last long," she seemed to be thinking. "Look, I don't normally do this, but I have a guest room. It's small, but it's clean. You could stay there for a few days while you figure things out. No strings attached." I stared at her. "Why would you do that?" "Because I was in a similar situation when I was your age, and someone helped me." She held out her hand. "I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to take advantage of you. I'm just offering you a safe place to sleep while you figure out your next move." I looked at her hand, at her face, at the scrubs that meant she was telling the truth about being a nurse. I took her hand. "Okay." That was 8 years ago. Carol didn't just give me a place to stay for a few days. She gave me a home. She helped me enroll in a new high school. She made sure I ate. She asked about my homework. She came to my school events. She taught me how to budget, how to cook, how to do my taxes. She paid for my college applications. She co-signed my student loans. She sat in the front row at my high school graduation and cried. She became my mother in every way that mattered. Last month, Carol died. It was sudden, an aneurysm. She went to sleep one night and didn't wake up. I found her the next morning when I came over for our usual Sunday breakfast. The funeral was small. Carol didn't have much family. A sister in Boston she barely spoke to, a few cousins. But her friends from the hospital came, her neighbors, the family from church, and me. I gave the eulogy. I talked about how she saved my life, how she taught me what unconditional love looked like, how she was the best mother I ever had. I didn't cry until the end. Carol always said I was strong. I wanted to be strong for her. 2 weeks after the funeral, her lawyer called me. "Emma, this is David Chen. I handled Carol's estate planning. I need you to come to my office. There are some documents you need to sign." Documents. Regarding her will. "Can you come in tomorrow?" I went. I sat in his office in my black dress from the funeral because I didn't own anything else appropriate for a lawyer's office. Mr. Chen was young, professional, sympathetic. "I'm very sorry for your loss," he said. "Carol spoke about you often. She was incredibly proud of you." "Thank you." He opened a folder. "I'm going to be direct because I think that's what Carol would want. She left everything to you. The house, her savings, her life insurance, her retirement accounts. The total value is approximately $4 million. I heard the words. I understood the words. But they didn't make sense. $4 million, I repeated. "Yes, the house is paid off. It's worth about $600,000. Her retirement and savings come to roughly $2 million. The life insurance policy was for $1.4 million. There are some other assets, her car, some investments. It adds up to just over $4 million. I sat there, staring at him. Carol never told me she had money. She lived modestly. She worked hard her whole life, invested wisely, and never touched the principal. She always intended to leave it to you. She barely knew me when she took me in. She knew enough. He slid papers across the desk. She updated her will a year ago. This is what she wrote in the letter of instruction. He handed me a sealed envelope, my name on the front in Carol's handwriting. I opened it with shaking hands. "Emma, if you're reading this, I'm gone." I'm sorry I can't be there for what comes next, but I need you to know something. The day I met you at that bus station, I'd just come from my therapist. I'd been telling her I felt like my life didn't have purpose anymore. That I'd worked all these years, saved all this money, and had no one to share it with. And then I walked outside, and there you were, lost and brave and trying so hard not to cry. You gave me purpose, Emma. You gave me a reason to come home every day. You made me a mother. That was the greatest gift anyone ever gave me. This money is yours, not because you earned it, but because you're my daughter. Use it to build the life you deserve. Go back to school if you want, travel, buy a house, start a business, whatever makes you happy. And if the people who threw you away ever come back asking for something, remember this: you owe them nothing. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're going to be okay. Mom. I sat in that lawyer's office and cried for the first time since she died. Mr. Chen gave me tissues and time. When I finally pulled myself together, he walked me through the next steps. Paperwork, transfers, timeline. The house is yours immediately, he said. The other assets will transfer within 30 days. In the meantime, you have access to $50,000 in liquid funds for any immediate needs. I thanked him, signed papers, left his office in a daze. $4 million. I drove to Carol's house, my house now, and sat in the driveway. Looked at the little blue Craftsman with the white shutters and the garden Carol loved. The house where I became a person again. And then I thought about Victoria, about my dad, about Tyler and Madison living in what used to be my room. I thought about how Victoria smiled when she dropped me off at that bus station. I thought about how my dad turned away. And for the first time in 8 years, I let myself feel angry. Not sad, not hurt, angry. They threw me away like garbage. They expected me to disappear, to struggle, to fail. And instead, I landed somewhere better. I found a mother who actually loved me. I finished high school. I got my degree in accounting. I passed the CPA exam on my first try. And now I had $4 million. Funny how life works. I pulled out my phone, did something I hadn't done in 8 years. I looked up my father on social media. His profile was public. He looked older, grayer, tired. Victoria was in most of his photos, still smiling that tight smile. Tyler was in college now. His profile said he was studying business at Oregon State. Madison was in high school, maybe 17. I scrolled through the posts. Dad's birthday last month. Victoria's birthday in June. Anniversary photos. Family vacation to Disneyland. No mention of me. Not once in 8 years. Like I never existed. I closed the app. Sat there in my car. They didn't deserve to know about Carol. About the money. About anything good that happened to me after they threw me away. But they were going to find out anyway. Because I'd learned something important from Carol. She taught me about compound interest, about investments, about building wealth slowly and carefully, about patience. And she taught me something else too, though she never said it directly. She taught me that the best revenge is living well. But sometimes, living well means making sure the people who hurt you know exactly what they lost. I started the car. I had work to do. The first thing I did was nothing. That probably sounds anticlimactic, but Carol taught me that the best financial decisions are made with a cool head and a solid plan. She used to say, "Don't make moves when you're emotional. Make moves when you're strategic." So I spent 2 weeks just existing. I went to work at the small accounting firm where I'd been interning. I processed the estate paperwork. I cleaned out Carol's closet and donated her clothes to the hospital thrift shop. I sat in her garden and cried. I did everything a grieving daughter does. And at night, I researched. I looked up my father's financial situation. Turns out, when you're a CPA, you know exactly where to look. Property records are public. Court documents are public. Business filings are public. People leave digital trails everywhere, and if you know what you're looking for, you can piece together a pretty accurate picture. Here's what I found. My father, Robert Mitchell, worked as a regional manager for an auto parts distributor. He made about $75,000 a year. Decent, but not great. Victoria didn't work. She'd been a stay-at-home mom since she married my dad, even though her kids were in school full-time. They'd refinanced their house, my childhood house, 3 times in 8 years. They were underwater on the mortgage. They had $17,000 in credit card debt across 4 cards. They'd taken out a loan against my dad's 401k. Tyler's college tuition was being covered by a combination of Parent Plus loans and Tyler's own student loans. They were drowning, and they had no idea I knew. I sat at Carol's kitchen table, my kitchen table, with spreadsheets laid out in front of me, and I felt something cold and clear settle over me. This wasn't about revenge. Revenge is emotional, messy, short-sighted. This was about justice. They'd thrown me away because I was inconvenient, because I cost money, because Victoria wanted my room for her kids and my father was too weak to say no. They'd expected me to fail, to end up another statistic, another kid who fell through the cracks. Instead, I was sitting in a paid-off house worth $600,000 with nearly $4 million in assets and a CPA license. The universe had given me the ultimate trump card. Now I just had to decide how to play it. I didn't have to wait long for the opening. 3 weeks after Carol's funeral, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Emma? I knew the voice immediately. I hadn't heard it in 8 years, but you don't forget your father's voice. This is Emma, I said, keeping my tone neutral. It's Dad. Silence. He was waiting for me to respond, to say something. I didn't. Emma, I heard about Carol. I'm so sorry for your loss. How did you hear about Carol? I saw her obituary online. It mentioned you. Of course, Carol's obituary. I'd written it myself. Carol Ann Peterson, beloved nurse, friend, and mother. Survived by her daughter, Emma Mitchell. I'd used Mitchell because it was still legally my last name. I'd thought about changing it to Peterson, but Carol always said I should be proud of where I came from, even if I wasn't proud of who left me behind. Thank you for your condolences, I said. Emma, I'd like to see you. I think we should talk. About what? He hesitated. About everything. It's been so long. I've been thinking about you. About how we left things. How we left things. Like I had any say in being kicked out at 15. Why now? I asked. Because life is short. Carol's death. It reminded me that we don't have forever. You're my daughter. I'd like to reconnect. I let the silence stretch, counted to 10 in my head. I'll think about it, I said finally. Can I call you again? If you want. Emma, I really am sorry for everything. Goodbye, Dad. I hung up. Then I called the lawyer. Mr. Chen, it's Emma Mitchell. I have a question about the estate. Is there any way my father could have legal claim to Carol's assets? No. You were Carol's legal dependent for 3 years after you turned 18. She formally documented the guardianship arrangement even though it wasn't court-ordered, and the will is airtight. Why do you ask? My father just called me for the first time in 8 years, 2 days after Carol's obituary was published. I heard Mr. Chen's sharp intake of breath. I see. Emma, if he contacts you again asking about the estate, refer him to me. Don't discuss any financial details with him. I won't. And Emma, be careful. Money makes people do desperate things. I thanked him and hung up. My father called again 2 days later, then 3 days after that. Each time, the same thing. He wanted to see me. He missed me. He'd made mistakes. He was sorry. Never once did he mention Victoria. Never once did he mention that he'd let her kick me out. Never once did he actually ask about my life, about how I survived, where I lived, what I'd been doing for 8 years. It was all about him, his regrets, his desire to reconnect. I didn't answer the 4th call, or the 5th. On the sixth call, he left a voicemail. "Emma, please. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm asking for a chance. Just coffee. 1 hour. Let me explain. Let me make things right." Make things right. Like there was a version of right that could erase 8 years. That could bring back Carol. That could undo the 15-year-old girl standing on a sidewalk with garbage bags. But I called him back. "Okay," I said when he answered. "Coffee. This Saturday, 2 p.m. There's a place on Burnside called Morning Roast. I'll be there. Thank you, Emma. Thank you." I chose Morning Roast for a reason. It was busy, public, and 30 minutes from my house. Neutral territory. And I'd made friends with the owner, Kim, during my college years. I used to study there every weekend. Saturday came. I dressed carefully. Nice jeans, simple sweater, Carol's pearl earrings. I wanted to look successful but not flashy. Put together, but not trying too hard. I arrived 15 minutes early, ordered a latte, sat in the back corner where I could see the door. My father walked in at exactly 2 p.m. He looked older than his photos, more worn down. He scanned the room, and when his eyes landed on me, something flickered across his face. Surprise, maybe, or recognition that I wasn't the frightened 15-year-old he'd last seen. He walked over, stood awkwardly beside the table. "Emma, you look great." "Sit down, Dad." He sat, folded his hands on the table. I noticed his wedding ring. Still married to Victoria then. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," he said. "I wasn't sure you would. I almost didn't." He nodded, looked down at his hands. "I don't know where to start." "Start with why you're here. Because you're my daughter. Because I've missed you. Because I made terrible mistakes, and I want to make amends." "Which mistakes?" He looked up. "All of them. Letting Victoria, letting you leave, not fighting harder to keep you, losing touch." "You didn't lose touch, Dad. You let me go." "There's a difference." "I know. You're right. I was weak. Victoria convinced me that you'd be better off with Marie, that you needed independence, that we were helping you grow up. I was wrong to listen to her. Aunt Marie didn't want me. You sent me to live with someone who told me no before I even got on the bus." His face paled. "I didn't know that." "Yes, you did. Because I told you. That night in the living room, you were watching football." He closed his eyes. "Emma, you chose Victoria over me. You chose her kids over me. You chose an easy life over being my father." "I know. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you had 8 years to reach out, 8 years to apologize, 8 years to wonder if I was okay. And you didn't. Not once. I thought you hated me. I thought you didn't want to hear from me. I was 15. I was your child. It wasn't my job to reach out." He looked like I'd hit him. "Good. You're right," he said quietly. "You're absolutely right. I failed you. I've lived with that guilt every day." "Have you? Because your Facebook looks pretty happy. Family vacations, birthday parties, anniversary dinners. Doesn't look like you've been suffering." He stared at me. "You've been checking on me?" "Recently." "Emma, those posts aren't the whole story. Things with Victoria have been difficult. Tyler's struggling in college. Madison's been in therapy. Money is tight. The house." He stopped himself. There it was. Money. "What about the house?" I asked. "Nothing. It's just, things aren't as easy as they look online. Nobody posts their problems." I sipped my latte, waited. "But I didn't come here to complain," he continued quickly. "I came here to apologize, to ask for forgiveness, to see if we can rebuild some kind of relationship." "Why now?" "I told you, life is short. Carol's death." "My mother's death," I interrupted. "Not Carol, my mother." He flinched. "Yes, your mother's death. It made me realize I've already lost too much time with you. Carol wasn't my biological mother, but she was my mother in every way that mattered. She's the one who raised me, who loved me, who showed up. I understand. Do you? Do you understand what it was like to be thrown away? To have nowhere to go? To think nobody wanted me? His eyes were wet now. No, I can't imagine. Emma, if I could go back, you can't. I know, but I can be here now, if you'll let me. I looked at him, really looked at him. He looked tired, defeated, desperate, and I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no love, just nothing. I need time, I said finally. This is a lot. Of course. Take all the time you need. Can I call you? I'll call you when I'm ready to talk again. He nodded, stood up, hesitated. Emma, one more thing. Carol, did she have any other family? I saw in the obituary that you were her only survivor. There it was again, the question under the question. No, I said, just me. That must have been hard, handling everything alone. I managed. If you need any help with arrangements or paperwork or anything, I'm here. I have a lawyer, but thank you. I watched him process that. A lawyer, which meant there was an estate, which meant there was something to handle. Okay, well, I'm here if you need me. He left. I sat there for another 20 minutes, finishing my coffee and watching through the window as he sat in his car in the parking lot. He was on his phone, probably calling Victoria, reporting back. Kim came over to refill my cup. That was your dad? She asked quietly. Kim knew my story. Carol used to come here with me sometimes. Yeah. He looks like he's having a rough day. He's about to have a rougher year. She raised an eyebrow but didn't ask. Kim was good like that. I pulled out my phone and opened the Notes app, started typing. Strategic plan. Phase 1. Establish contact but maintain distance. Let him come to me, observe his motivation, document everything. Wait for him to make the real ask. Phase 2. Reveal information gradually. Control the narrative. Make him work for every scrap of connection. Watch Victoria's influence. Identify what they actually want. Phase 3. TBD based on their actions. I didn't know exactly how this would play out yet, but I knew one thing for certain. My father didn't come back because he missed me. He came back because Carol died and left me something. He smelled money. Or Victoria did, and she sent him. Either way, they were about to learn something important. You can't manipulate someone who sees you coming. My phone buzzed. Text from my father. Thank you for today. It meant everything to me. I love you. I stared at the message, thought about the thousands of days and 8 years when he could have sent something, anything. I typed back, "You're welcome." That was it. No, I love you too. No warmth, just acknowledgement. Another text came through immediately. Can I see you again soon? Maybe we could have dinner. I'd love for you to meet Victoria and the kids again. They've missed you. I almost laughed. They've missed me. Madison was 7 when I left. She probably barely remembered me. Tyler was 10. He definitely remembered me, but I doubted he missed me. And Victoria who orchestrated the whole thing. I'm not ready for that yet, I typed back. Let's take this slow. Of course. Whatever you need. I'm just so grateful to have you back in my life. I put my phone away, back in his life, like I'd been on vacation instead of discarded. Over the next 2 weeks, my father texted every few days. Always warm, always apologetic, always asking to see me again. I kept my responses brief and non-committal. And then Victoria made her move. I was at work when my phone rang. Unknown number again. Hello? Emma? This is Victoria. I almost hung up. Almost. But curiosity stopped me. What do you want, Victoria? I wanted to reach out personally, woman to woman, to apologize for what happened 8 years ago. You want to apologize? Yes. I was young and overwhelmed. I had 2 kids and a new marriage, and I handled things poorly. I made decisions I regret. I hurt you, and I'm deeply, truly sorry. She sounded sincere. Almost. But I'd had 8 years to get good at reading people. Carol taught me that too. People show you who they are through their actions, not their words. Why are you calling? I asked. Because Robert, your father, has been beside himself wanting to reconnect with you. And I know I'm the reason you left. I take full responsibility for that. If there's anything I can do to help repair your relationship with your father, I want to do it. There's nothing you can do. Emma, please. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but Robert does. He loves you. He's been lost without you. Won't you give him a real chance? He's had 8 years to reach out. He was afraid you hated him, afraid you'd reject him. Can't you understand that? No, actually, I can't. Because if he really loved me, fear wouldn't have stopped him. Victoria's tone shifted. Just slightly. A little harder. You're not being fair. You don't know what he's been through. What we've been through. Neither do you. You don't know what I've been through. Because none of you cared enough to ask. That's not fair. Goodbye, Victoria. I hung up. My hands were shaking. Not from fear, from rage. The audacity of her. Calling me, telling me to forgive. Acting like she was the victim. My phone rang again. Victoria. I declined the call. She texted, "We need to talk about Carol's estate. Robert has a legal right to know about any inheritance you received. As your father, he may have claim." I deleted the text without finishing it. So that was it. That was the real reason. They knew. Somehow they knew about the money. I called Mr. Chen immediately. "They're making threats," I told him, "claiming my father has legal rights to the estate. He doesn't, not even close. But this is exactly what I was worried about. Do not engage with them. Do not discuss the estate. If they contact you again, tell them all communication needs to go through me. They won't stop. Then we'll take legal action if necessary. Cease and desist. Harassment charges if it escalates. Emma, you hold all the cards here. Don't let them make you feel otherwise." I thanked him and hung up. Then I did something I'd been planning since that coffee meeting. I hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus Webb, former cop, now ran his own firm. Kim at the coffee shop recommended him. Apparently, he'd helped her sister with a custody case. I met him at his office in Northeast Portland. "What do you need?" he asked after I'd explained the basics. "Everything. Financial records, communication patterns. I want to know who they talk to, who they owe money to, what they're hiding. I want to know why they came back now." "That's pretty comprehensive. I can pay." He named his rate. It was steep. I didn't blink. "How detailed do you want this?" "I want to know them better than they know themselves." He smiled. "That I can do. Give me 2 weeks." I left his office feeling focused, clear. Carol used to say that knowledge is power. And in accounting, information is everything. You can't fix a problem you can't see. You can't plan for a future you don't understand. My father and Victoria were a problem, and I was going to understand them completely. When I got home that night, there were 2 voicemails. One from my father, asking when we could have dinner. One from Tyler. Tyler. I hadn't heard from him in 8 years either. "Hey, Emma. It's Tyler. This is weird. I got your number from Dad. I just wanted to say hi. And I'm sorry. For how things went down. I was just a kid, but that's not an excuse. Anyway, if you want to talk sometime, I'm around." His voice was deeper, adult, but uncertain. I sat with that for a while. Tyler wasn't Victoria's biological kid either. She'd brought him and Madison into the marriage. But unlike me, they'd been welcomed, kept, chosen. But that didn't make Tyler responsible for Victoria's choices. He was 10 when I left, just a kid. I called him back. "Hello? Tyler, it's Emma." "Oh, wow. Hi. Thanks for calling back." "What do you want?" I don't know, to talk, I guess. I heard you met with Dad. He's really happy about it." "Is he?" "Yeah. He talks about you all the time now. How much he missed you. How he wants to make things right. What about you? What about me? Did you miss me?" Silence. Then, "Yeah, I did. You were cool. You used to help me with homework. You'd sneak me cookies when Victoria was being strict about sugar." "I remember. Look, I know things were messed up. I know Victoria basically kicked you out. I didn't understand it then, but I do now. And I'm sorry I didn't say anything. I was scared of her." "Are you still scared of her?" He laughed, but it sounded hollow. "Sometimes. She's intense. Everything has to be her way. Dad just goes along with it to keep the peace." Sounds familiar. "Emma, I'm not calling because they told me to. I'm calling because I actually want to know you again. If that's okay." I thought about that, about whether Tyler was genuine or whether this was another manipulation. But his voice, he sounded tired, sad, real. "Okay," I said. "We can talk, but not about Dad, not about Victoria, just us. Deal." We talked for 40 minutes. He told me about college, about struggling with business classes, about his girlfriend who was pre-med. I told him about becoming a CPA, about living in Portland, about Carol. He asked good questions. He listened. He didn't push. When we hung up, I felt something I hadn't expected. Hope. Not hope that my father would change. Not hope that Victoria would apologize genuinely, but hope that maybe, possibly, there was one person in that family worth knowing. 2 weeks later, Marcus called. "I've got your report. You're going to want to see this in person." I met him at his office that afternoon. He slid a folder across his desk. It was thick. "Your father and stepmother are in serious financial trouble," he began. "The credit card debt you found? It's actually closer to $30,000 now. The mortgage is 3 months behind. Your father's company is downsizing. His position is likely to be eliminated in the next quarter. Victoria has been running an online boutique that's hemorrhaging money. Tyler's student loans are in forbearance. Madison needs extensive dental work they can't afford." He flipped through pages. "But here's where it gets interesting. 2 months before Carol died, Victoria hired a private investigator." I sat up straighter. "To investigate who?" "Carol and you." He showed me the report. Victoria had paid someone to look into Carol's finances, property records, assets, everything. "She knew," I said quietly. "She knew Carol had money before she died." "Yes, and based on these text messages." He showed me screenshots. Messages between Victoria and my father. They've been planning this approach for weeks. The reconciliation, the apology, all of it was strategic. I read through the messages. She's alone now, vulnerable. This is our chance. Play the guilt card. She was always soft-hearted. Once we're back in her life, we can figure out how much she inherited. Robert, this could solve everything. Tyler's loans, the house, all of it. I felt cold, perfectly, crystalline cold. "There's more," Marcus said. "Victoria's been telling people you're mentally unstable, that Carol manipulated you, that the inheritance should rightfully go to your father as next of kin. She's building a narrative. Can they challenge the will? Not successfully, but they can make noise. They can try to drag you through court, cost you time and money and stress." I closed the folder. "Thank you, Marcus. Send me your invoice." "What are you going to do?" I looked at him, smiled. I'm going to give them exactly what they want." He raised an eyebrow. "Which is?" "A relationship with me." I drove home with the folder on my passenger seat and a plan forming in my mind. They wanted back in my life? Fine. They wanted to manipulate me? Good luck, because I had something they didn't. I had the truth. I had documentation. I had money. I had time. I had nothing to lose. And most importantly, I had Carol's voice in my head, teaching me one final lesson. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. They'd shown me 8 years ago. Now I was going to show them what I'd become. I called my father the next morning. "Dad, I've been thinking. You're right. Life is short. I'd like to have that dinner, with you and Victoria and the kids." The relief in his voice was palpable. "Really? Emma, that's wonderful. When?" "Next Saturday, 6 p.m., but not at your house. There's a restaurant I like called Harvest. It's in the Pearl District. My treat." "You don't have to do that." "I want to. I'll make a reservation. See you then." I hung up before he could ask questions. Harvest was expensive. Not ridiculously expensive, but nice. The kind of place where dinner for 5 would run close to $400. I wanted them to see that I was doing well, comfortable, successful. I wanted them to start calculating. The week leading up to dinner, I prepared like I was preparing for an audit. I reviewed Marcus's report 3 times. I memorized key details. I practiced my expressions in the mirror, warm but not eager, friendly but not vulnerable. Carol used to say that accounting was like chess. You had to think 3 moves ahead. Know what your opponent wanted before they knew themselves. Victoria wanted money. My father wanted the easy way out of his problems. They both wanted me to be grateful, pliable, useful. I was going to give them hope, just enough to keep them engaged. And then I was going to watch them destroy themselves trying to get what they thought I had. Saturday came. I dressed carefully. A simple black dress, Carol's pearls, low heels. My hair down, minimal makeup. I looked professional, but not flashy. Approachable, but not desperate for approval. I arrived at Harvest 15 minutes early. Asked for the table I'd reserved in the back corner. Good lighting, private enough for conversation, but visible enough that we weren't isolated. They arrived exactly at 6. My father came in first, looking uncomfortable in a button-down shirt that was slightly too tight. Behind him, Victoria. She'd aged more than he had. Her face was harder, tighter, expensive highlights in her hair but roots showing. Designer purse that was 2 seasons old. Tyler followed, tall and uncomfortable in a sport coat, and Madison, 17 now, in a dress that looked too young for her. I stood up, smiled. "Hi." My father came around the table, arms outstretched. He hugged me. I let him. Over his shoulder, I watched Victoria's face. She was smiling, but her eyes were calculating, assessing. "You look beautiful," he said, pulling back. "Thanks." "Hi, Victoria." Victoria came forward, hugged me too. She smelled like expensive perfume and desperation. "Emma." "It's so good to see you. You too." Tyler gave me an awkward wave. "Hey." Madison just stared at me, uncertain. "Madison, wow, you're so grown up." She smiled shyly. "Thanks." We all sat. The server came. I ordered a bottle of wine for the table. Something nice but not ostentatious. Everyone ordered carefully. Not the cheapest items, but not the most expensive either. They were being polite, mindful. I ordered the most expensive entree on the menu without looking at the price. "So," my father said once the server left, "tell us everything. What have you been up to? Where are you working?" "I just finished my CPA certification. I'm working at a firm downtown, Morrison and Associates." Victoria's eyes lit up. "A CPA. That's wonderful. That's very impressive." Carol encouraged me to pursue it. She always said I was good with numbers. Silence at the mention of Carol's name. "She sounds like she was a wonderful woman. Victoria said carefully. She was. She saved my life. We're so sorry for your loss, my father said. I can't imagine how hard it's been. It has been. She was my mother in every way that mattered. Another uncomfortable silence. Tyler jumped in. Emma was telling me she lives in Portland now. Somewhere near Hawthorne? Close to there, yes. I have a little house not far from the hospital where Carol worked. You bought a house? Victoria asked, her tone carefully casual. Carol's house. She left it to me. I watched them process that. A house in Portland. Modest neighborhood. But still probably worth $500,000 at least. That was generous of her, my father said. She was generous, in a lot of ways. The wine came. We all took sips, made small talk. Madison told me about school. Tyler told me about his business classes. My father talked about work, carefully avoiding mentioning that he was about to be laid off. Victoria was quiet, watching, listening. Dinner arrived. We ate. The conversation flowed easier with food and wine. I asked questions, showed interest, laughed at my father's jokes, complimented Madison's dress. I played the role of the grateful daughter, the one who'd been found again, the one who was just so happy to have her family back. After dessert, which I insisted everyone order, my father leaned back in his chair. Emma, I can't tell you how much this means to me, to all of us, having you here, having you back in our lives. It means a lot to me too. I know I have a lot to make up for, a lot of years to make right. But I want to try, if you'll let me. I'd like that. Victoria reached across the table, put her hand on mine. We'd all like that. You're part of this family. You always were. I looked at her hand on mine, at her perfectly manicured nails, at the wedding ring that probably cost 2 months of my father's salary. Thank you, Victoria. That means a lot. The check came. I took it before anyone could reach for it. Paid with Carol's credit card. My credit card now. $473. I didn't flinch. Outside the restaurant, my father hugged me again. Can we do this again? Soon? I'd like that. Maybe next time you can all come to my place. I'll cook. We'd love that, Victoria said quickly. Wouldn't we, Robert? Absolutely. We said our goodbyes. Tyler hugged me, a real hug this time. Madison gave me a shy wave. Victoria squeezed my hand. I watched them walk to their car, a 7-year-old SUV with a dent in the back bumper. Then I got in my car, Carol's paid-off Camry, and drove home. When I got there, I poured myself a glass of wine and sat in Carol's reading chair. They'd taken the bait perfectly. Now came the hard part. The waiting, the slow reveal, the strategic deployment of information designed to make them want more while getting nothing. 3 days later, my father called. Emma, I just wanted to thank you again for dinner. It was wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Listen, I was thinking, I know money must be tight right now, with Carol's medical bills and the funeral and everything. If you need help, Carol had good insurance, and she'd been planning ahead. Everything was taken care of. Oh, good. That's good. But still, if you need anything... Actually, Dad, I wanted to ask you something. Anything. Tyler mentioned he's struggling with his business classes. I'm pretty good at accounting and finance. Would it be helpful if I tutored him? Maybe once a week? Silence. Then, that would be... Emma, that would be incredibly helpful. He's really been struggling. The tuition is so expensive and we want him to do well. I remember how hard college was. Carol helped me so much. I'd like to pay it forward. You don't know what this means to us. It's what family does, right? I could hear the emotion in his voice. Right. Yes. Thank you. That Saturday, Tyler came to my house for the first time. He stood on the porch, looking at the little blue Craftsman with its white trim and neat garden. This is nice, he said. Carol loved it. Come on in. I gave him the tour, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, updated kitchen, hardwood floors. Modest but well-maintained, nothing flashy. We sat at the kitchen table with his textbooks. "So," I said, "what are you struggling with?" "All of it, honestly. Financial accounting, managerial accounting, corporate finance. It's like they're speaking a different language." "Let me see your current assignment." He showed me. Basic financial statements, balance sheets, income statements, cash flow, fundamental stuff. I started explaining. Tyler was smart. He picked things up quickly once they were broken down. We worked for 2 hours. I made coffee. We talked between problems. "Can I ask you something?" he said finally. "Sure. Are you really okay? With all of this? With Dad and Victoria and everything?" I looked at him. "Why do you ask?" "Because if someone did to me what they did to you, I don't think I could sit across from them at dinner. I don't think I could be this nice." People change. Do they? Smart kid. I don't know, I said honestly. I guess I'm giving them a chance to find out. Victoria's been weird since you came back. Weird how? I don't know. Intense. She keeps asking me questions about you, about your house, about what we talk about. It's like she's trying to figure something out. What do you think she's trying to figure out? He shrugged. Whether you're rich, probably. Whether Carol left you money. She's obsessed with money. Always has been. Your mom's in debt? Yeah. Well, her and Dad. They're always stressed about money. They try to hide it, but Madison and I aren't stupid. That must be hard. It's whatever. I just keep my head down, focus on school, try not to cost them more than I have to. I felt a pang of sympathy. Tyler was caught in the same trap I'd been in, used as a pawn, expected to be convenient. Tyler, if you need help with school or anything, you can ask me. He looked at me, surprised. Really? Really? Why? After everything? Because you're my brother, and because I remember what it's like to feel like you're in the way. His eyes got wet. He looked away quickly. Thanks, Emma. That means a lot. After he left, I sat at the kitchen table and thought about what he'd said. Victoria was asking questions. Good. Let her ask. Let her wonder. Let her imagination run wild with possibilities. The next week, my father invited me to Sunday dinner at their house. I accepted. I hadn't been inside that house in 8 years. Walking through the door felt surreal. Everything was the same but different. Same layout, different furniture, same kitchen, new paint. My old room, Madison's room now, was painted lavender. There were posters of boy bands on the walls, a laptop on the desk, nice clothes in the closet. Madison's become quite the fashionista, Victoria said, noticing me looking in. She has good taste. We try to give her what she needs. It's not always easy, but family comes first. I smiled. Of course. Dinner was pot roast. Overdone and under-seasoned. We sat around the dining table, the same table where Victoria had told me I needed to leave. Emma, Victoria said during the meal, Robert tells me you're doing well at your firm. I enjoy the work. And the house Carol left you. That must be such a comfort, knowing you have a stable home. It is. Did Carol have other family? Anyone who might have expected to inherit? There it was, the real question. No, Carol's husband died 20 years ago. They never had children. I was it. That must have been lonely for her. I don't think so. She had a full life, friends from work, her church community, hobbies. Still, all that time alone, all those years working and saving with no one to share it with. My father shot Victoria a look. She ignored him. She shared it with me, I said simply. Of course. I didn't mean, I just meant it must have been hard for her, before you came along. She told me finding me gave her purpose. That's beautiful, my father said quickly. Really beautiful. The conversation moved on, but I'd seen what I needed to see. Victoria was circling. getting closer to the question she really wanted to ask. How much? Over the next month, I settled into a routine. Dinner with the family once a week, tutoring Tyler every Saturday, occasional coffee with my father. I even took Madison shopping once. She needed homecoming dresses, and Victoria claimed they couldn't afford the ones Madison wanted. I bought her 3 dresses. Nice ones. $200 each. Madison cried with gratitude. Victoria's smile was tight. I was becoming indispensable, generous, helpful, and expensive. Each act of kindness cost money. Money I had and they didn't. Money they needed and I could provide. I was creating dependency, expectation, need. And then, 6 weeks after that first dinner, Victoria made her move. She called me on a Tuesday afternoon. "Emma, do you have a minute? I'd like to talk to you about something, in person." "Sure. When?" "Could you come by the house tomorrow? Around 10? Robert will be at work." "I'll be there." I arrived exactly at 10. Victoria answered the door in yoga pants and a blouse. Hair perfect, makeup done. She'd prepared for this. "Come in." I made coffee. We sat in the living room. She poured coffee from a French press into mugs I recognized from my childhood. "Emma, I wanted to talk to you privately. Mother to mother." I wasn't a mother, but I didn't correct her. "Okay." "I know we've had a complicated past. I know I made terrible decisions that hurt you. But I want you to know how grateful I am that you've given us another chance. Given me another chance. I appreciate that. You've been so generous. With your time, with Tyler's tutoring, with Madison's dresses. You've been more family to them in 6 weeks than—" She stopped herself. "You've been wonderful. I care about them. I can see that, which is why I feel comfortable asking you this." She took a breath. "Robert's company is downsizing. He's likely going to lose his job in the next month or 2. We're already behind on the mortgage. Tyler's tuition is due. Madison needs braces. I don't know what we're going to do." I said nothing, just listened. "I know Carol left you her house, and I'm sure there were other assets. I'm not asking you to tell me your business, but I'm asking, as family, if there's any way you could help us. Just temporarily, just until Robert finds another position." "How much do you need?" Her eyes lit up. 50,000 would get us current on everything. Give us breathing room. 50,000. A test number. Not too big to seem unreasonable. Not too small to seem insignificant. "That's a lot of money, Victoria." "I know, and I wouldn't ask if we weren't desperate. But you're family. And family helps family, right?" I looked at her, at the desperation she was trying to hide behind dignity. "Let me think about it. Of course. Take your time. Emma, I need you to know we'll pay you back. Every penny. With interest." "I know." I left 20 minutes later. In my car, I called Mr. Chen. They just asked for 50,000. "And what did you say?" "That I'd think about it." "Emma, you know my advice." "I do, but I need them to show me who they really are. All the way." "Be careful. Once you give them money, they'll never stop asking." "I'm not going to give them money." "Then what are you going to do?" I smiled at my reflection in the rearview mirror. "I'm going to give them something better. Hope." That evening I called Victoria. "I've thought about it. I can't give you 50,000. Silence. Disappointment. "But," I continued, "I can help in other ways. I can pay Tyler's tuition this semester. I can cover Madison's braces. I can help with groceries and utilities for a few months while Dad looks for work." "Emma, that's incredibly generous. Family helps family, right?" "Right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. There's one condition. Anything. Dad needs to actually look for work. Real work. Not just the same industry. He needs to consider other options. And you need to get a job too." Long silence. I have Madison to take care of. Madison's 17. She doesn't need full-time supervision. And if money is this tight, you need to contribute. Yes, you're right. I can do that. Good. Send me the bills. I'll take care of them directly. You mean? I mean, I'll pay the school directly, the orthodontist directly. I'll send grocery gift cards. I'm not writing checks to you and Dad. Another silence, this one colder. Of course, that makes sense. Thank you, Emma. Really. I hung up. Over the next 3 weeks, I paid Tyler's tuition. $14,000 wired directly to Oregon State. I paid for Madison's braces. $6,000. I sent $500 in grocery gift cards. $20,000 in 3 weeks. And Victoria started looking at me differently. Not with gratitude, with calculation. Tyler noticed. She keeps asking me how much you're paying for things, how much money you have. It's weird. What do you tell her? That I don't know, that it's none of my business, but she won't let it go. My father called me, emotional. Emma, I don't know how to thank you. You've saved us. Literally saved us. Just find a job, Dad. That's how you thank me. I'm trying. I'm applying everywhere. But when I checked, and yes, I checked, he'd applied to 3 places in 3 weeks. All in his same industry. All at his same level. He wasn't trying. He was waiting for something better to fall in his lap. Or waiting for me to just solve the problem with money. Victoria got a part-time job at a boutique, 20 hours a week at $15 an hour. She made a big show of how exhausting it was, how hard she was working. Meanwhile, I watched the credit card statements Marcus was still pulling for me. She charged $300 at Nordstrom 2 weeks after starting her job. Bought new highlights. Got her nails done. She wasn't working to contribute. She was working to show me she was working. It was all performance, and I was running out of patience. Then, 2 months after that first dinner at Harvest, my father showed up at my house unannounced. It was a Sunday morning. I was in the garden, planting bulbs Carol had ordered before she died. Tulips for spring. Emma. I looked up. He was standing in my driveway, looking disheveled, desperate. Dad? What's wrong? I got the termination notice. They're letting me go in 2 weeks. I stood up, brushing dirt off my hands. I'm sorry. Emma, I don't know what to do. The severance is only 2 months' salary. That won't even cover the mortgage. We're going to lose the house. You need to sell the house. We can't. We're underwater. We owe more than it's worth. Then, you need to walk away. File bankruptcy if you have to. Bankruptcy? He looked horrified. Emma, I can't. My credit. Your credit is already destroyed, Dad. You're 3 months behind on your mortgage. You have $30,000 in credit card debt. Bankruptcy might actually help you start over. How do you know about... He stopped, stared at me. Have you been checking on us? I'm a CPA. It's public record. Emma. He stepped closer. I need help. Real help. Not groceries. Not tuition. I need money. Enough to get current. Enough to survive until I find work. How much? 100,000. I laughed. Actually laughed. Dad, I'm not giving you $100,000. You have it. Carol left you her estate. I know she had money. What Carol left me is none of your business. I'm your father. You stopped being my father 8 years ago when you let Victoria throw me out. His face went red. That's not fair. I made mistakes. I'm trying to make it right. By asking me for $100,000? By asking my daughter to help me, the way I'd help you if our positions were reversed. You wouldn't help me. You didn't help me. I was 15 and homeless and you did nothing. I thought you were with Marie. You knew I wasn't. I told you she didn't want me. You didn't care. Emma, please. No. 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 I'm not giving you $100,000. I'm not giving you $50,000. I'm not giving you another penny. After everything we've done, Everything you've done. You mean letting me back into your life? Letting me pay for Tyler's school and Madison's braces? Using me as a bank account? That's not what this is. Yes, it is. That's exactly what this is. You came back because you thought I had money. Victoria investigated Carol before she died. You planned this whole reconciliation like a con. His face went pale. Who told you that? Does it matter? It's true. Emma, Get out. Please, get out of my house. And don't come back unless you're ready to be honest about why you're really here. He stood there for a long moment. Then he turned and walked away. I watched him drive off. Then I went inside, washed my hands, and called Marcus. I need you to document everything from today. Audio, video, whatever you have. Already done. I've had surveillance on your house since you called me 2 weeks ago saying things were escalating. Good. Send me everything. Emma, what are you planning? The end game. I hung up. Then I sat in Carol's reading chair and let myself feel it. All of it. The anger, the hurt, the betrayal that somehow still stung even though I'd seen it coming. They'd had every chance, every opportunity to be real, to be family. Instead, they chose this. They chose to see me as a resource instead of a person. Just like they did 8 years ago. I pulled out my phone, opened my notes, looked at the plan I'd been building for weeks. Phase 3, Revelation. It was time to show them exactly what they'd lost, and exactly what it cost them. I called a family meeting, told everyone to come to my house the following Saturday. Victoria, my father, Tyler, Madison, all of them. They arrived looking nervous, hopeful, probably expecting another handout. I had coffee and pastries laid out, professional, civil. Thank you all for coming, I said once everyone was seated in my living room. I wanted to talk to you about the future, about what happens next. Victoria leaned forward. Emma, we're so grateful for everything. I held up my hand. Let me finish. I know why you came back into my life. I know Victoria hired an investigator to look into Carol's finances before she died. I know you planned this reconciliation to access my inheritance. I have documentation, text messages, financial records, all of it. The room went silent. Here's what's going to happen. Tyler, you're still my brother. Your tuition is paid through graduation. That doesn't change. Madison, your braces are covered. That doesn't change either, because you're kids and none of this is your fault. Tyler's eyes were wide. Madison looked confused. But you two... I looked at my father and Victoria. You're done. No more money, no more help, no more access to me. You had 8 years to reach out because you actually cared. Instead, you came back when you thought I could solve your problems. Emma, please, my father started. I'm not finished. Carol left me $4 million, not because I deserved it, but because she loved me. She saw me as her daughter, and you know what? That inheritance taught me something important. It's not about the money. It's about knowing your worth. I stood up. You threw me away because I was inconvenient. Because Victoria wanted my room and you were too weak to say no. You expected me to fail, to disappear. Instead, I found someone who actually loved me, who invested in me, who taught me that family isn't about blood, it's about showing up. Victoria's face was red. You ungrateful. Ungrateful? I laughed. For what? For you kicking me out at 15? For you investigating my finances like I'm a mark? No, Victoria. I'm not ungrateful. I'm just done pretending we're family when all you see is a bank account. My father looked broken. Emma, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you are. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry it didn't work. But you're not sorry for what you did 8 years ago, because if you were, you would have come back before Carol died. Before you needed something. I walked to the door. Opened it. Tyler, Madison, you're always welcome here. My number doesn't change, but the rest of you, we're done. They left. Victoria was furious. My father was crying, but they left. Tyler stayed behind for a moment. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, "for all of it. I know. You're not them, Tyler. Don't become them." He hugged me. Then he left too. I closed the door, stood in Carol's house, my house, and felt something settle in my chest. Peace. 3 months later, I heard through Tyler that my father and Victoria filed for bankruptcy. They lost the house, moved into an apartment. Victoria blamed me publicly, told anyone who'd listen that I abandoned my family. I didn't respond, didn't defend myself, didn't engage. Because the truth was simple. You can't abandon people who threw you away first. I used part of Carol's inheritance to start a foundation. Scholarships for kids aging out of foster care, housing assistance for young adults experiencing homelessness, support for people who fell through the cracks. I named it the Carol Peterson Foundation. Every year on the anniversary of the day she found me at that bus station, I fund 10 full-ride college scholarships. Because Carol taught me that the best revenge isn't hurting the people who hurt you. It's becoming living proof that they were wrong about you all along. My father sent me a letter last month, apologizing again, asking for another chance. I didn't respond. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding, and some families are the ones you choose, not the ones you're born into. I'm Emma. I'm 23. I'm a CPA. I own my home. I have money in the bank, and I learned the most valuable lesson anyone ever taught me. Your worth isn't determined by the people who throw you away. It's determined by what you build after you land.